Welcome everyone, Dr. Mandell here. Hair loss in women is becoming more and more common. Stress, hormones, nutrient deficiencies, and inflammation all play major roles. But today I'm going to share something that might surprise you. There's a specific vitamin that, when taken in excess, can actually worsen your hair loss. And I'm also going to show you what to eat instead to naturally support thicker, healthier hair from the inside out. Most women never realize that the very vitamin they're taking to strengthen their hair may actually be the reason it's falling out. Because buried inside countless beauty supplements, inside fortified snack bars, inside multivitamins marketed specifically for women, lies a nutrient that becomes harmful when the dose creeps just a little too high. That nutrient is vitamin A. And while your body needs small amounts of it to maintain healthy skin and vision, science shows that when levels rise beyond what the body can safely store, the first organ to show damage isn't the liver, it's the hair follicle. What makes this so alarming is that vitamin A toxicity doesn't require megadoses or long-term misuse. Research published in the Journal of the American Academy of Dermatology reveals that even moderate excess levels reached simply by combining a supplement with a fortified diet can trigger sudden, unexplained hair shedding in women who otherwise appear perfectly healthy. Imagine waking up one morning, brushing your hair, and watching the strands fall like confetti to the floor, not because of age, not because of stress, but because a vitamin pushed your follicles into overdrive. Vitamin A forces the hair cycle to accelerate far beyond its natural rhythm. Hair grows faster, yes, but it also reaches the end of its life cycle prematurely. The resting phase shortens. The shedding phase arrives too soon, and the result is something dermatologists call telogen effluvium, a sudden and dramatic loss of hair that can leave a woman feeling as though her body has betrayed her. This isn't speculation, it's documented physiology. The hair follicle relies on a delicate balance of growth hormones, scalp oils, and cellular turnover. Vitamin A disrupts all three at once. One of the most overlooked dangers of excess vitamin A is that it increases the production of sebum, the natural oil of the scalp. But instead of nourishing the follicle, this surge creates a thickened environment where inflammation thrives. A 2020 study in dermatoendocrinology links this inflammatory response to miniaturized follicles, the same process seen in pattern baldness. When follicles swell, they become weaker, less anchored, more vulnerable to breakage. And what many women interpret as dry hair, stress hair, or seasonal shedding is often the earliest sign of vitamin A overload, an overload they may not even know they're consuming. Because unlike other nutrients, vitamin A is stored in the liver, not flushed out. This means every bite of fortified cereal, every gummy vitamin, every high-dose hair, skin, and nails capsule adds to a reservoir that grows over time. The body stops using it, but it continues storing it. Eventually, the storage spills over into the bloodstream, and from there, into the skin and scalp. Women frequently report dry, itchy, flaky skin long before they connect it to vitamin A. But research in clinical nutrition confirms that dryness, peeling, and sebaceous instability are early red flags of hypervitaminosis A, long before organ damage occurs. And when the scalp dries, the hair thins, the follicles shrink, the strands weaken. What started as a well-intentioned effort to nourish beauty becomes the invisible driver of hair destruction. Yet the tragedy is not just biological. It's emotional. Hair is identity. Hair is confidence. Hair is the silent signature a woman carries with her into every room. When that begins to disappear, it's not just a physical change, it's a psychological blow. Women describe feeling older, weaker, and helpless, not realizing the cause may be hiding in their own supplement cabinet. And companies know this. Vitamin A is one of the cheapest ingredients to manufacture, and it's heavily added to beauty products because consumers have been conditioned to believe more vitamins equal more health. But science says otherwise. There is no clinical evidence showing that supplemental vitamin A improves hair growth in healthy women. Not one major dermatology review recommends it, yet its presence in hair supplements remains widespread. The irony deepens when you look at the liver, the organ that stores vitamin A. The liver regulates hormones such as estrogen, thyroid hormones, and stress response hormones, all of which influence hair growth. So when vitamin A overload begins to stress the liver, hormonal imbalances often follow, and hair, highly sensitive to hormone changes, begins to thin not just from follicle inflammation, but from internal dysregulation. A study in Hepatology International confirms that early liver stress can manifest externally through hair loss before blood tests even detect abnormalities. Your hair is speaking long before your labs do. But here is where the science becomes even more compelling. When women stop taking excess vitamin A, studies show that follicles often recover fully. The swelling reduces, the hair cycle resets, growth resumes, and the same research that documented hair loss also documented regrowth, proving that for many women the cause isn't aging or genetics, but a reversible nutritional imbalance. Dermatologists at the Cleveland Clinic have reported countless cases of women experiencing sudden hair shedding from nothing more than combining a daily multivitamin with a collagen supplement fortified with retinol palmitate. Two products, one silent overload. Most women have no idea that the recommended daily allowance for vitamin A is only 700 micrograms, yet a single hair growth vitamin can contain double that amount. Add fortified breakfast foods, energy bars, meal replacements, and skin supplements, and you can exceed safe limits before lunch. And because vitamin A accumulates slowly, months may pass before the first hairs fall out, making the connection nearly impossible without awareness. But awareness is power. And the truth is this: your body does not need mega doses of vitamin A to thrive. It needs balance. It needs moderation. It needs nutrients delivered the way nature intended in whole foods, where beta-carotene can be safely converted into vitamin A only as the body requires it. Whole food vitamin A sources cannot cause toxicity because the body controls the conversion process. Supplements bypass that control. Every woman deserves to know this. Every woman deserves to understand that the beauty industry's promise of more vitamins equals more hair is not just misleading, it can be harmful. What she truly needs is informed choice. And informed choice begins with knowing the science. Vitamin A is not the enemy, but excess vitamin A is. It doesn't announce itself. It creeps quietly. It disguises itself as self-care. It hides in products labeled healthy, fortified, or hair nourishing. And if you don't know how much you're consuming, your hair may be the first to pay the price. The human body is brilliantly designed. It gives warnings. It tries to protect you. The hair you lose is not a punishment. It's a message. A message saying something is out of balance. A message saying something needs to change. And when you listen, when you examine your supplements, your fortified foods, your daily habits, your body begins to heal. Your follicles begin to strengthen. Your confidence begins to grow back along with your hair, because the power to restore your hair doesn't lie in taking more. It lies in taking less. For years, women have been told that supplements are the answer to hair loss, that the solution comes in a bottle, that more pills, more vitamins, more boosters will somehow restore the hair that stress, hormones, or age has taken away. But what if the truth is the exact opposite? What if the growing epidemic of female hair thinning is not because women are lacking nutrients, but because they are taking too many of the wrong ones? Modern marketing has convinced millions that health comes in concentrated doses, yet research paints a very different picture, one where the human body responds far better to nutrients delivered through whole foods rather than synthetic isolates. And the deeper scientists look, the more shocking the evidence becomes. The body isn't designed to handle megadoses. It isn't designed to handle artificial combinations of vitamins that never occur naturally. And it certainly isn't designed to turn supplements into hair growth miracles. Instead, the body is designed to respond to balance. The truth is that whole foods contain a synergy of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, enzymes, and fibers that supplements cannot replicate. Researchers at Tufts University demonstrated that when nutrients come from food, the body absorbs them more effectively and uses them more intelligently than when they come from pills. In fact, the National Institutes of Health has repeatedly warned that isolated nutrients in supplements can produce unintended harmful effects that never appear when those same nutrients are consumed as food. So when women swallow a handful of daily hair growth vitamins, they're not feeding their biology. They're overwhelming it because supplements hand the body something nature never intended: isolated nutrients in unnatural doses delivered all at once with no regulating compounds to protect against overload. This is where the danger begins. Scientists studying nutrient metabolism have found that supplements can flood the bloodstream with levels far beyond what the body can manage. For example, high doses of synthetic biotin, which nearly every hair growth supplement contains, can interfere with hormone tests, mask thyroid imbalances, and confuse the endocrine system that directly controls hair growth. A report from the FDA warns that biotin supplementation has even produced false lab results in emergency medicine, leading doctors to misdiagnose patients. And yet it sits inside beauty vitamins at doses 20, even 50 times higher than what food naturally provides. But the problem goes deeper than biotin. Vitamin A, vitamin E, zinc, selenium, nutrients that are vital in small amounts, become toxic when packaged into pills and taken daily. Studies published in The Lancet and the Journal of the American Medical Association confirm that synthetic vitamins can increase oxidative stress instead of reducing it. That oxidative stress doesn't just damage internal organs, it disrupts the scalp environment, weakening follicles and accelerating hair shedding. Women believe they're nourishing their hair, when in reality they may be fueling the very inflammation that destroys it. In contrast, whole foods operate with precision. They never overload the body because nature builds safeguards into every bite. Spinach contains iron, but also vitamin C to enhance absorption and phytonutrients that prevent toxicity. Sweet potatoes contain beta-carotene, which the body only converts into vitamin A when it needs more, never when it doesn't. Eggs deliver biotin, but in balanced, modest quantities surrounded by proteins and healthy fats that slow digestion and stabilize metabolism. There is no food in nature that gives the body a megadose. And that is exactly why food heals without harming. Imagine the difference like this. Supplements blast the body with nutrients. Whole foods whisper them. Supplements force nutrients into the bloodstream. Whole foods invite them. Supplements override the body's natural regulation. Whole foods partner with it. And when it comes to hair growth, an incredibly delicate process governed by hormones, blood flow, inflammation, and cellular turnover, the body responds far more favorably to gentle nourishment than to aggressive supplementation. Researchers in Denmark tracked the diets of over 54,000 women and found something extraordinary. Those who consume more whole food nutrients, not supplements, had significantly lower rates of chronic hair thinning. The foods that made the biggest impact were not exotic superfoods, but everyday staples. Leafy greens, legumes, nuts, eggs, berries, and deeply colored vegetables. When these foods entered the bloodstream, they delivered a slow, steady stream of micronutrients that nurtured the follicles over hours instead of minutes. This steady release reduces inflammation, supports hormonal balance, and strengthens the root, the exact opposite of what synthetic vitamins often do. And yet, despite overwhelming scientific evidence, billions of dollars flow every year into the supplement industry, an industry that thrives on the fear women have of losing their hair. Fear sells, panic sells, promises sell. But the human body doesn't respond to promises. It responds to physiology. It responds to the gentle rise of antioxidants from blueberries that reduce oxidative damage around the follicles. It responds to the steady iron in lentils that delivers oxygen to the scalp. It responds to the zinc in pumpkin seeds that regulates hormones. It responds to the amino acids in eggs that rebuild keratin. These foods don't just support hair, they support the entire ecosystem that hair depends on. What is most astonishing is how quickly the body begins to transform when women shift from supplements to whole foods. Dermatologists report that within 6 to 12 weeks, shedding often decreases, breakage slows, and the scalp becomes healthier. The follicles awaken, the inflammation fades, and the hair cycle begins to normalize. Not because the body was given more, but because it was given what it understands. The documentary truth is simple. The beauty of whole foods is that they do more than feed the hair. They feed the blood, the hormones, the organs, the immune system, the microbiome, everything that indirectly influences the health of each strand. Supplements don't do this. They don't operate holistically. They target one nutrient at a time, ignoring the symphony of reactions needed for true healing. You cannot isolate health into a pill. You must nourish it into existence. And this is why the shift from supplements to food is so powerful. Food teaches the body how to return to balance. Food allows the body to regulate itself. Food gives the body the chance to heal, not just survive. Because true hair growth is not about flooding the body with nutrients. It's about giving the body everything it needs in the proportions nature intended. This is how hair becomes stronger. This is how follicles become resilient. This is how shedding slows. Whole foods restore what supplements disrupt. And when women return to the wisdom of natural nutrition, their hair slowly, steadily, profoundly begins to return to them. Every strand of hair on a woman's head tells a story of stress, of diet, of hormones, of the silent battles happening beneath the surface of the scalp. And yet most women never realize that hair loss is rarely about the hair itself. It's about the environment the hair is growing in. It's about whether the follicles feel nourished, protected, and supported. Science now confirms something astonishing. The foods a woman eats have a far greater impact on her hair than the products she puts on it. Not just because food fuels the body, but because food changes the biological conditions that decide whether hair grows, stagnates, or falls away. Let science speak first. Over the last decade, dermatologists and nutrition researchers have uncovered a truth that should have been obvious all along. Hair is a living tissue. It bleeds, it breathes, it depends on blood flow, minerals, proteins, antioxidants, and hormones. And when the body senses deficiency, imbalance, or inflammation, it does something brutally efficient. It shuts down hair growth to protect more vital organs. This is why thinning hair is one of the earliest warnings the body gives when something deeper is out of alignment. And it's also why the right foods have the power to reverse what many women assume is irreversible. When a woman eats a food rich in the nutrients hair desperately needs, iron, zinc, biotin, antioxidants, amino acids, something remarkable happens. The follicle begins to wake up. Blood flow increases. Inflammation decreases. Cellular turnover accelerates. And the hair cycle, which may have been stuck in a dormant phase for months, gradually begins to reset. This is not cosmetic improvement. This is biology correcting itself. Take sweet potatoes, for example, one of nature's most powerful sources of beta-carotene. What makes beta-carotene extraordinary is not just that it helps the body produce vitamin A, but that the body regulates the conversion. It never allows too much, never allows toxicity. Nature designed this nutrient as a self-governing system. When the body needs more vitamin A to nourish the scalp and repair follicle cells, it converts more. When it doesn't, it simply stops. This built-in protection is something supplements cannot replicate. And when researchers at Harvard studied diets rich in carotenoid-dense vegetables like sweet potatoes and carrots, they found that women who consumed them consistently had stronger, thicker hair follicles and a significantly lower rate of dry scalp conditions. Food delivered balance, supplements delivered risk. And then there are eggs, the most complete hair-building food on earth. Hair is made of keratin, and keratin cannot form without amino acids. Eggs provide every essential amino acid in a perfect biological ratio. Dermatology research from the University of Barcelona shows that women with chronic hair shedding consistently consume less high-quality protein than those with healthy hair. Protein deficiency shifts follicles into the shedding phase, but when amino acids return to the diet, follicles re-enter growth. Eggs also provide biotin in a natural, moderate amount, nothing like the mega doses in hair vitamins that overwhelm hormone tests and create false readings. Food biotin supports keratin. Supplemental biotin distorts the endocrine system. One nourishes, one disrupts. Pumpkin seeds may be small, but they are biochemical giants. Their zinc content is among the highest of any plant food, and zinc is one of the hair follicle's most essential minerals. Studies published in Annals of Dermatology reveal that zinc deficiency is present in more than half of women experiencing chronic hair thinning. Zinc regulates the oil glands around the follicle, keeps hormone levels stable, and prevents the miniaturization process that leads to short, weak strands. And pumpkin seeds deliver this mineral in a way the body absorbs effortlessly, not in a burst, not in a megadose, but in a slow, steady stream. When women snack on just 2 tablespoons a day, researchers saw measurable improvements in shedding within 8 to 12 weeks. That's not a trend. That's physiology responding. Iron is another silent factor in female hair loss, one that is shockingly widespread. Low iron starves the follicle of oxygen, and without oxygen, hair cannot grow. Lentils, one of the richest plant sources of iron and folate, are a hair-strengthening powerhouse. Folate helps build red blood cells, and red blood cells carry oxygen to the scalp. A study of nearly 5,000 women published in Clinical and Experimental Dermatology revealed that even borderline low iron levels can trigger chronic shedding. No supplement has ever matched the absorption of iron from lentils paired with vitamin C-rich foods. The body evolved to extract nutrients from whole foods, not from chemical isolates in capsules. Lentils don't just feed the blood, they wake the follicles. And yet the story isn't complete without berries, deeply colored berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries are among the highest antioxidant foods on the planet. Antioxidants protect hair follicles from oxidative stress, the same internal rusting that accelerates aging and weakens roots. Researchers in Italy discovered that women with persistent shedding had significantly higher markers of oxidative stress in the scalp. But after 8 weeks of antioxidant-rich dietary intervention, including daily berries, the markers dropped, shedding slowed, inflammation faded, hair density improved. This wasn't magic. This wasn't marketing. This was food reversing cellular damage. Food doesn't work in isolation. It works in harmony. A woman who eats eggs in the morning, pumpkin seeds as a snack, lentils at lunch, sweet potatoes at dinner, and berries for dessert isn't just feeding her hair, she's feeding her entire biological ecosystem. Her hormones stabilize, her blood sugar levels steady, her liver detoxifies more efficiently, her inflammation decreases, her stress response becomes more balanced, and hair thrives in that environment. Hair grows in safety, not chaos. The hair follicle is one of the most metabolically active structures in the human body. It needs more energy than most organs. It needs more minerals, more antioxidants, more protein, more blood flow, and the only way to sustain this level of metabolic demand is through whole foods. Supplements cannot recreate this complexity. Shampoos cannot penetrate to this depth. Serums cannot influence the hormonal environment beneath the scalp. Only nutrition can do that. Every bite of real food sends a message to the follicle. You are supported, you are safe, you may grow. And when a woman consistently delivers the right foods, the follicles listen, slowly, steadily, powerfully. For many women, hair regrowth isn't a mystery, it's a nutritional awakening. Food heals what stress and imbalance once damaged. Food restores confidence strand by strand. Food gives women back not just their hair, but their power.